I think that works just like it does for any other industry out there, though, because, I mean, if you're in the construction business and you know, have somebody come to you and they show you some shoddy work done on your house, then you're mad because it makes all contractors look bad, but then you find out that that person's not licensed or doesn't have all of the criteria that they're supposed to have to do that job. But it makes you look bad because, you know, some bozo didn't do it. I'm a social worker. I get really, really mad when somebody calls himself a social worker and they're not licensed, they actually don't have the education for it, but yet they call themselves a social worker. I get mad because there's no way. I can complain about it, but it doesn't do any good because if I go to the licensing board, they can't do anything because this person's not a licensed social worker, so they can't put a record.
That's like all the things with this voter fraud stuff. They bring up right before the election all this voter fraud stuff up. While the election happens, the person gets in, it stays up, and then they die. They don't fight for it to the
Right.
end.
So that's
and
why.
continue.
That's
When you
why
know
as
who runs the
912
Reagan License Board, it's all the people Doyle appoints.
Right.
Yep.
So that's why as 912 members, we need to do these meetings. We need to let people like Judge Vanderwater know that if we vote for you, we are going to do, as Dave Westlake says, hold you accountable. We will be holding every single elected person who gets my vote is going to have to answer to me. Everybody who gets a vote from this gentleman is going to have to answer to him, okay? Or to John, and I'd be scared for that one too. I mean, we need to do that, you know, we need to do that. And Mike does not get out of your face. If you don't give him an answer or you don't address him, he's not going to shush up. He's going to be, I mean, Mr. Ryan has like a direct line with you right now because of some of this. And so we don't give up. And that's what's important for all of us because that's what our Constitution says for us to do. This is about us. This is our country. We need to be watchdogs of it, and we haven't been doing that for so many years. And look at the hole we dug, and it is damn deep. And you know, and I'm only a short, fat Pollock. I can only get so high by myself, but if I get somebody's help, we can start digging out.
Did I stand on your shoulders?
Back to the Constitution. It said that we find these freedoms to be self-evident, endowed by our Creator. Okay? Now, last I know, Nancy Pelosi, Barney Frank, and
They
they're not my
themselves
Creator.
on that level, don't they?
No, yeah, but they're not.
I think so.
And neither is well. Now, what's this guy Cox? I think he's from one of these towns. I'm sure he wants to make concealed carry a felony.
No.
All right. Wisconsin and Illinois are the only two states left in the union. I'm talking California and New York
Right.
have where you can get a concealed carry permit. Not Wisconsin and Illinois. I think Chicago, Madison are kind of fused. But
Confused or fused?
Yes.
fused.
Oh, I was
Confused.
Both of you.
But the thing is since these freedoms are endowed by my Creator, and I don't need a permit to go to church, I don't need a permit to speak my mind. Now these things are limited. There are common sense limitations. You don't run through a movie theater screaming fire, okay? You don't sacrifice babies to your religion on a burning altar, okay? There are certain limitations. And actually, since Doyle and Illinois, governor down there, are releasing these prisoners in California, prisoners early, and putting them back on the streets, I'm glad there's background checks at point of sale that they can't go, hey, I'm out, man, let's go back to work. Go get a tool. All right. But, as a law-abiding citizen, I buy my firearm legally. I didn't steal it. I didn't buy it out of the trunk of a car from somebody I don't know. It's stolen. Why do I need a permit to conceal carry? I'm against permits for concealed carry because it legitimizes the government's control over my rights.
Right. Judge, before you answer that, I just have to say that this will be the last question, so we have to get going to Fond du Lac.
Oh, yeah, that's the question.
We're going to the gun show, so good question.
All right.
That's where she's on her way to.
I got an A
And
from the
read my
NRA.
answer
Well, got an
ahead
F
of
when we
the way
ran.
it is.
So. So obviously I believe in gun rights and I own several guns myself and I agree with you. And all the felons have guns, they're not standing in line for permits, they're not standing in line anywhere, and you're not gonna take the guns off the streets from them.
And they're
No.
concealing, they're carrying, and I guarantee they're still, you know, and they
Yeah,
don't have
they
to have
get to
a permit
conceal
See,
what
Your
they
Honor,
want.
I used to actually work with kids and teach criminal thought process and teach them to try to think responsibly, because it's their thoughts they act on that commits the crime.
Right.
There was a question here. But since